Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna play Tough True Skill. And I'm gonna verify. Okay, just kidding. We are making Etoh honest review. Okay, why did I do that joke? The funny thing is I didn't even plan to make this an Etoh honest review video when I started recording. I just thought about that like 5 seconds ago. Anyway, I said last video that I'm gonna do tough keyboard eating, but it doesn't have Subway Surface gameplay, so I guess we're gonna do Tots. Cool. Don't worry, even though I suck and I cannot beat this, I still have beaten basically it on mobile. I've done the secret ending and I've gotten like to floor 10 at least 5 times. Legit, by the way. And I've also all jumped this a couple of times. Which means that I definitely have some experience with this tower. Even though I might not be able to finish this. Okay. Nice. Floor 2. Oh yeah, I forgot to give the recap about this tower. So first of all, let's just start with a bit of history. This was the 9th tower ever to be in game, of course. And also the last one to be like in Legacy Ring 1. So originally, TOC was the hardest tower in this area. Yeah, Tower of Confusion used to be in this area. It's actually insane. But yeah, the reason why this was made, apparently, I heard this from Theodoric, or like on YouTube, I don't know if I remember correctly. But basically, Theodoric just wanted to make, just didn't like that TOC used that many client objects, so he just made it, you know, purist mostly, because this tower uses a few kill bricks on floor 4 and 8. Okay, not a few. I mean, the floors that use them definitely use a lot of kill bricks. But besides that, it's purist, if I remember correctly. I don't think that. Oh yeah, the fading platforms, I guess, on floor 5. But yeah, this was the first ever time we got like kind of purist gameplay. And I mean, like, still there are a lot of purist towers which just are really similar to this from the old days, of course. So yeah, let's just start with the recap, I guess. So floor 1 just start with some like pretty hard jumps, I guess. Like compare now if your hardest is like Toie or something from playing this. So yeah, floor 1's definitely gonna give you some struggles. Then get on to floor 2, which is a bit easier, I guess. But just a bit, in my opinion. It definitely has like not that many hard jumps like floor 1 has. Like floor 1 has these jumps and just, you know, just some wacky jumps. But then we you know, have the here. Then on floor 3 we just get onto a pretty quick floor, but it's, in my opinion, really fun, even though it's easy, rather easy. It definitely has a bit of some hard jumps, but besides that, it's not really that much, I guess. Then we get onto floor 4, which starts off with some kill brick stickouts, and that's also the first like hard floor of this tower. Technically, floor 1 is already like in the top 5 hardest floors of this tower, but again, come on. Floor 4 is by far harder than this in every way. Maybe not length, but I guess punishment and just gameplay overall just make that a lot harder. Also, I forgot to say one thing. If you look up from the tower, there's basically nothing in this, which means that like this was technically the most punishing tower up to its point, since like and like tower, like the earlier towers, they all gave you like pretty big deaths, but this tower is pretty, you know, sparing and not sparing, just saving up on deaths, I guess. And funny thing is that they never use these save ups, besides on floor 2 and 5. Anyways, yeah. After that, after you've conquered floor 4, which has also this tight corridor section, which is also pretty hard for some players. And then we just get onto some long jumps and wraps. And after that, we are on to floor 5. Which, the unique gimmick is that every single platform is a fading one. And that you basically just need to run. At least most platforms are fading. Since there's some... that kind of ruinous thing. Because you can just high jump, wrap. And then just skip like 3 jumps or something like that. But the most important, you just get a break spot. Okay. Anyway, yeah, floor here, what is it called? Floor 5 is pretty simple. It has some pretty basic gameplay. After we get past the final start on floor 6, we continue on to floor 6. We continue to one of the hardest jumps of this tower. It's basically a long jump as the same difficulty around the 12-star jump. Maybe a bit easier. I don't know. Depends on what person you ask. Okay, so yeah, after we conquer floor 6, we get onto the 7th floor of the tower, which is definitely, again, not that hard. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that the rest of floor 6 is literally free. Mostly. I mean, it has like challenging gameplay. I wouldn't really call that hard. How the fuck did I fail that skip? Have they patched it? Because I just failed that skip 2 times. Like, last time I got there, the skip also just didn't work for some reason. Maybe I have to do it on an earlier platform, I don't know. Oh, why did I use the Etoh? Anyway, yeah, floor 7 has some pretty tricky jumps, like a ledge grab and a oh fuck. But yeah, it has a ledge grab and a here, what is it called? And like a low ceiling jump kind of thingy. It really has just some pretty awkward jumps that you're not used to up to this point, probably. Yeah, floor 7 has background music though. But yeah, after that you get onto floor 8, which has just a lot of kill bricks. And when I mean a lot, it has a lot. Yeah, really a lot. So yeah, you might struggle with the... Okay, no. It's literally one of the easiest floors of the entire tower. Which is kind of funny. Even though it uses the most client object. Is that true? Floor 5 might use more. It's pretty hard to tell. But I think like around, like you also have kill break wraparounds, which count as 2 parts. I guess it's pretty hard to tell again, as I said. Yeah. Besides that, oh, flip. Yeah. Floor 9. Oh yeah, I forgot. Literally the most infamous floor of this entire tower. You might ask why? Because it's literally soul crushing, which makes that one of the hardest floors in the entirety of Ring 1, which is kind of insane. The hardest floor in any non-soul crushing tower, by the way. In Ring 1, of course. Okay, how do I keep failing these easy as hell jumps, man? Was that just... How thin of a platform was that, man? How thin of a gap? But, you know... Come on, do the high... oh yeah, and after that after we conquered floor 9, we are into the final stretch, technically. Which is a pretty short outside section on the last floor, which will make you lose all your progress if you fall. Yeah, I also just had the thought of making a version of Tough True Skill which has a lot more outsides. Anyways, yeah. After you've conquered that outside, you've basically beaten the tower. This is probably your first remorse. Okay. How do I keep failing the easiest damn jumps, man? Come on. How? When the spacebar isn't spacing. Anyways, yeah. Whoa. Flip, man. Okay. Anyways, yeah, let's just start talking about the design in this tower. For being not a design-oriented tower, this definitely has some wraps which look pretty cool, in my opinion. I really like the rotation this has on some jumps. And also, I really like the floor of the earlier. I like also the design of the earlier floors. I don't know, but that just gives me a kind of a nostalgic vibe for some reason. It's pretty hard to say why though. But yeah, the design definitely gets worse once you get to floor 5. Just the style changes up completely for some weird reason. And yeah, the design is not pretty minimalistic. It has some cool parts on floor 8 in terms of design again. But after that, it's rather bland than anything. Not really bland, just non-existent, I guess. Nice. First time on floor 5, I guess, on PC. So yeah, the design is pretty okay, I guess. Also, I like these signs. This was the first ever time that we got like a sign like this, not like a text message or something like that. Like, this is basically the beginning of signs. Technically, TOIE had a message on it, but that was parts. This is just one part with a message. Kind of insane. Also, Thanos dot. Which, funny thing is, because the original floor color of floor 6 was apparently purple, which is unique, I guess. Also, this is the platform that doesn't fade that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. The design also counts for music, I forgot, which means that, yeah, the music is pretty bland, to be honest. I mean, Kevin MacLeod, is an important person. Okay, floor 5 just fluked, I guess. But yeah, Kevin MacLeod sorry, definitely made some important music for Etoh and just YouTube and just the internet in general. important history. Fuck. Anyways, floor 6, first time getting there. That's pretty neat, I guess. Basically being done with the first half of this tower. That's neat. I failed the long jump, which is literally the only slightly challenging jump of this tower. Of that floor, of course. Besides that, like, floor 7 has some weird jumps, and then floor 9, and that's it. And floor 10, I guess. But yeah, I will probably start after this, just start making a version of Tots Plus I skill with more outsides, because I think that's a pretty interesting concept that I want to see. Also, just, you know, bit of change the gameplay, you know, maybe add a few nets, I guess, to make the tower a bit more less punishing. Like, I'm kind of trying to make a mix while just adding a lot of outside sections, but also some nets on the inside, which doesn't make like the inside literally just the same like an outside. Also, I could technically make the Tots Plus skill, but like everything is an outside section besides floor 1, because then outside sections are technically not outside sections like they were intentionally planned to. Anyways, let's just start with the creativity, I guess. So this tower is, you might say, oh yeah, this gameplay is not too special, but for its time, this was the first ever tower to make purist gameplay and not be client object based. Ever. I know only 9 towers were made, but come on, man. Which means that, yeah, this tower has an impact for the entire gameplay style. Basically, it's just created a gameplay style. So, I will give the creativity a really high point, even though the gameplay at some parts is less than creative. Also, this was the first ever tower to use a lot of wraps. Looking like at the older towers, they basically use no wraps up to this point. Like, really, look at the ring 1, like at the first ring 1 towers, they basically don't use that many wraps like this tower at towers nowadays just do. The wraps are basically not that big as they are now, technically. But, yeah. So let's just get on to the rankings, I guess. So I will be giving gameplay an 8 out of 10. You know, I'm feeling nice, and for a gameplay center tower, and you know, this is some pretty good gameplay. I like gameplay with a lot of raps, so you know, I might be a bit biased here, but I just really enjoy raps. And this is also just a really fun tower to speedrun. Even though I'm not good, this is still a really quick tower, which does make for some, you know, more questionable parts, it's not that bad, I guess, which is pretty cool. Okay. So, yeah, what is there left, I guess? Oh yeah, design. So design, the music is pretty okay, I guess. Ring 1 is definitely an area which I love because of the music. Which is also why this is why this has some of the weakest music. Still, floor 10 is a banger. You can't lie. Kevin, you were cooking. Definitely. But yeah, the rest of the music is just, you know, really basic. I mean, like, example for the song on floor 4, everybody and their mom knows this song because of YouTube, man. Like, if you don't know this song, why have you been the last decades? You're either a newborn, or you're just a grandpa that hasn't used the internet ever. So yeah. And like, one question, how are people with like these extreme ages watching this damn video, first of all, about Etoh, tower honest reviews of Tower of True Skill? Like, this is super specific, just kind of funny. Oh shit. Almost got to my second time on floor 5. Anyways, yeah, let's just continue with the design. The design is definitely, in my opinion, 6 out of 10. You know, I'm trying to be nice, and I really just love the style the first few floors have in terms of design. I want, if you just are good at making towers or something like that, I want you to make a tower that's around intense to challenging difficulty, that just has the style of the first few floors of Tower of True Skill. To be exact, the first 2, with like the fit-ins and just structuring like that. You know, the design, especially on these floors, just mostly carry this tower. But I also like the design with the H floor, which brings design and gameplay really well together. But also, like, for atmosphere, I also put in design, and you know, the atmosphere in floor 10 is just so epic. So it's a sick solid 10 for mediocre design for half of the tower, to be honest. It doesn't really, this tower also doesn't have that many misalignments or fin stats, which is good. But then you remember that this is the same creator made TOIM, which is Tower of Misalignments. Kind of ironic that this was like the first ever tower to be not as much misaligned as the old ones. Okay, like, I don't really remember Tower Effect having that many fins. Tower Effect does not have any fin stats, if not counting tide ropes anyway. But yeah, no, I'm talking too much. So let's just get on to creativity, which I will give, for the gameplay style that it has, a 9 out of 10. I know this might be a bit high, but I think making inventing an entire gameplay style on your own is just something insane, to be honest. Just with this tower, purest gameplay was born. Just with one tower, man. Kind of insane, if you ask me. So yeah, this tower basically now has gameplay 7 out of 10, design 6 out of 10, and creativity 9 out of 10, which means that we have 22 out of 30. Right? You know what, I'm gonna add gameplay and make it 2 and 8, which means that we now have 23. I'm not sure if this is the same place as TYE or just below it or above it. I don't remember TYE scores. I think it was also around 23 out of 30, so this might share the first place. But yeah, in my opinion, Tower of True Skill is just a really good tower for its time. And I can understand why people like Peppa Ingus just really love this tower. Especially, and if you're hating this tower, nothing against you, man, but it might be that you have a skill issue, because you just like this tower if you're better at the game. That's just it. And I'm not even glazing this for being you know, for just saying that I'm good. I mean, this is my hardest, kind of. Okay, second time I'm getting to floor 5 on PC. Technically third time, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, 23 out of 30. The rankings are as follow. Tower stress, screen patching, and glitching and healing didn't change their position, basically. Technically, okay, glitching and healing changed its position, I guess. And yeah, Tower of True Skill and TYE either share the first place, or one of these is the first place and the other the second. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna check. And I'm probably gonna write a comment about it then after posting this video, on this video, of course. What the fuck? What? Okay, that just happened. Anyway, yeah, that was it with Etoh Honest Reviews episode 5. Yeah, 5, right? Wait. Yeah, this is the 5th episode. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end off season 1 with the rankings. Yeah, I'm gonna make every season a ranking, but don't worry, I will try to put towers from other areas in the season 2, besides Tower of Glitching and Healing. In this season, of course, we'll still try to make it. And I will just give my final rankings on the towers, I guess, and just, you know, that's it. Okay, yeah, that's it, I guess, with the video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Why are you still here, man? Do you want to see my terrible gameplay? Okay, yeah, you don't want to see how I play this flipping tower. Because I suck. Like, sometimes I just play really, like, fast and, like, professional. But then I just get flung. Or I just fail literal one-star rap. Because I'm just moving too fast. I guess you can't be slow if you want all the late. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.